Hello, my friends. Welcome to the mini deep stretch. So we're gonna get a deep stretch, but it's gonna be miniature, meaning that we're not gonna take a whole lot of time to do this practice, but we are gonna take some meaningful time to do this practice. So for the deep stretch practice, all you're gonna need is yourself, maybe a yoga mat, maybe some blocks, pillow, bolster, maybe. Right? You can do this right on your carpet in your house. You don't need to be, you can do it on a piece of earth outside. But if you have something like a yoga mat, grab it. And when you're ready, we'll get started. So let's take our time today to find ourselves in a child's pose shape. Take your time to roll over your knees, to bring your big toes to touch your forehead to the surface as you find yourself in a child's pose. Here we are arriving in this beautiful moment. Here we are settling in. Let's collectively take a nice inhale breath through your nose and a long exhale breath out the mouth. Again, an inhale through the nose and an exhale out the mouth. One more time together, big inhale and let it go. And as you lightly seal the lips, just allow the body to be heavy in this moment. Here in this practice today, we're going to work to connect to the deeper connective tissues of the body. A yin style practice. Just moving through a few shapes, softening around edges, being present with our breath, body, and mind. And no rush to enter or exit any of these shapes here in our mini deep stretch. Just simply being here. I invite you to offer a little intention for your practice here today. So the intention may be different depending on the time of day you're practicing this. Maybe you're winding down with a deep stretch. Maybe you're taking a midday deep stretch. Maybe first thing in the morning, just need to connect. Whatever it might be for you. Send it out to the universe with conviction, trust, and firm belief. With a little bit of love from your heart. Planting our seeds in beautiful, rich soil. Seeds of intention. And let's allow for the next inhale breath or so to guide us to a little tabletop. Finding our hands under our shoulders, hips over knees. A little gentle wag of the tail of the dog. Easy little side to side. Moving the neck around. Moving it into one of my faves, just a little dancing lion pose. One of my favorite ones, right? Especially just to take a little diagnostic of where the hips are at, the wrists when you bring some weight over them. Any little tension through the back, anything that you need to breathe into or take an extra breath, right? Give yourself permission to do so. And really give yourself permission to move nice and slow in this mini deep stretch practice. And no rush to get anywhere fast. Take a pause, circle it the other way, easy peasy. And we'll find ourselves back here at a little centered state. A wave of the spine as you tuck your toes under. Inhale, arch your back, look up. Exhale, we round, cat pose. Inhale, we tuck the toes, arch the back, look up. Exhale, let's cat. Just feel in the back a few times, right? So as we're just kind of waving the spine, we're just kind of seeing a little baseline of what's happening here with the body. Seeing where the breath is, if it's a little choppy in there, if it's shallow. Working on lengthening the inhale, lengthening the exhale. The next time you find yourself in a cat pose, let's hang out there, right? Chin to chest, hands to the surface, opening through our upper back, through our shoulders, letting the weight of the world just kind of roll off the shoulders here in this moment as the fingers are spread wide, opening up, feeling good. Returning home to center, walking your hands forward a couple of inches, shifting it back into a downward facing dog just to kind of move some energy around for a moment. Slowly but surely, a little walk of the dog, a little shake of the head, yes. A little gentle shake of the head side to side, just affirming that you're in the right place at the right time, here and now, my friends. And then just nice and slow. Take your time and let's drop the knees to the surface and bring this right foot right outside of where your right hand would be. Finding ourselves in a little lunge shape, right? So just double checking, you got this right knee over the ankle kind of action. You can wiggle your left toes back to create a little bit more space here in the front side of your left hip. Softening into a low dragon pose. And just taking this moment to breathe to where you feel it. Noticing that sensation in the body the whole time, connecting deeply and not firing any muscles up today. Let's let all that stuff go. Enjoy the being space in this deep stretch. Long, even inhales and slow, steady exhales. See if you can soften the facial muscles and releasing the clench of anything in this moment. The urge to clench, releasing that. Softening more. Shifting back from here into a little, kind of like a half split action, right? Just a little kind of half splits, freeing up through the calf muscle, the back of the knee, the right hamstring, finding some release here as we're folding over. Just simple, easy. No tension. No grit of the teeth today. No clench of the jaw. No tightening of the glutes. Unnecessary today. Then from there, just easy. Just find yourself moving back to like a little tabletop shape and just find a little wiggle once again. Simple, simple, simple. Into your downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide, chest to thighs, glutes to sky. Maybe a little walk and maybe just a little bit of a noticing of how the right feels compared to the left. Any subtle or significant difference that you may be experiencing in offering this paddle, this mindful walk. Then we'll drop the knees down to the surface and then shift the left foot outside of the left hand, coming into your low dragon shape here on side number 2. And of course, you can always put padding underneath your knee that's down, right? You can just fold up your mat twice. That's an option. You have a pillow or a blanket is something nice to kind of keep around. But enjoying this wonderful deep stretch right here. Big inhales, big exhales. If you find yourself needing more, right? Maybe you found yourself onto your forearms on the last side. Maybe you need that here. Maybe that's too much on this side, right? Just coming from a space of grace in our shapes. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's take one more breath here. Soften a little more around the edge. And then from there, we'll shift it back into a nice little half split action, shifting the weight back, toes to the nose, and finding the breath into the back of the left hamstring once again. Even inhales and exhales. Slowly, steadily, awakening the body from the inside out. Let's take another breath or two in our half split, feeling good about it. Send that breath in there wherever you need it. And shifting back into a little tabletop position. Tucking the toes under and moving into your downward facing dog. Paddle the legs, move it out, check it out. Nice little deep stretch action going on. And let's come down onto our glutes, taking your time to arrive there. And we'll take the legs out nice and wide for a nice little straddle fold right here. So the legs are nice and wide, the spine is nice and tall to begin. An option just to walk your hands forward and just simply soften in something like this right here, all good. Maybe there's a little bit more, maybe you want to take your hands and take them to the tops of the feet or the outsides, maybe you're, depending on your level of flexibility, but just take it easy on whatever version of the shape that you're in. Right. Just allowing yourself to soften around the edges of the shape. Meaning, if you are breathing with ease, maybe there's a little more to explore. Maybe you can come a little deeper. If you are there and you're not even breathing, you're holding your breath or clenching up, maybe you release a little bit back off. Connect with your breath and then see if there's an invitation to go deeper once again. And being mindful of your neck and your cervical spine. If it's not comfortable for it to hang down like that, keep it nice and erect, right? Back off. Always taking it easy on your neck. You're not trying to create any pain in these shapes. If there's a little discomfort sometimes, that's a space where you have to be able to be aware and breathe into. Knowing if it's too much, back off, explore more. The choice is yours. See if you can find stillness here in this pose for the last few breaths. As we're just settling in and relaxing into this shape. Slowly on an inhale, just kind of like rolling up the spine one vertebrae at a time. Just nice and easy, rolling yourself up. And then bringing the legs in towards the midline. And giving yourself a little hug. Bringing your forehead to your knees. Finding a little hug here. And with your feet flat, let's offer a little windshield wiper of the legs, just like a gentle windshield wiper of the legs, like just kind of like washing away any tension. And this nice, gentle, deep stretch. The mini deep, we'll call it. Soles of the feet together for a little butterfly pose. Relax the knees down to the surface. And maybe the heels are away from the groins a little bit more, right? A little bit further out there, right? So not so intense, somewhere where we can allow ourselves to be a little bit longer. And if you have some blocks, like I have over here, and you want to slide them underneath your legs. That's a nice option too, for a little bit more support. Rolling down with your chin to your chest, if it's available. And you can always support your forehead on something here, a block, a nice option, stack of books, whatever it might be. Enjoying this gentle, deep stretch here through the inner groins as the knees are softening to the surface. Just coming into this stretch and breathing nice and deep. Here in this practice, just kind of unlocking our hips, the front sides, insides. We'll take it through the back sides and the outsides too. Just freeing ourselves here from tension and feeling good. Let's let the next inhale bring us back to the top with our chin to chest. Maybe just rolling up the spine one vertebrae at a time again. And closing this butterfly and extending your legs nice and straight. Little click of the ankles, little flop of the legs side to side, feels good. And then easy with it, we're gonna move it into a little shoelace pose. So we're gonna bring the right leg on the bottom and the left leg on top. Okay, so option one is the right leg is a straight leg on the bottom and the left leg is on top like so. Right, that's option one. Option two is you bend this right leg and you find yourself seated, right, with the left leg on top, the right one on the bottom. Just be mindful of your knee, right? So I'm a little bit tight here in the outside of this left hip, so it kind of looks like I got this huge gap here going on. Totally normal for me. And maybe this is enough here, right? Right here in this shoelace pose. Or maybe you want more, and you roll forward once again. Maybe you want to take your arms, right arm up on top behind the head, and your left arm underneath, like a little Gomukhasana, a little cow face pose. And you work your hands together behind your back. These are just options for you to have. It's nice to have a little menu, and then to choose which one is best for you. Just taking your time. A few more breaths here. Breathing nice and deep. Slowing down. Wonderful deep stretch. I'll invite you when you're ready on an inhale breath to slowly guide yourself all the way back up to the top. To take your legs out of there and just switch up the legs. Right, so maybe this time we're gonna have the left leg on the bottom and the right leg on the top. And remember, the left leg can remain straight out in front of you too, all good. Wherever you are is awesome. And finding yourself shifting into your version of your shoelace on side two. So just nice and easy, getting in there, feeling nice and tall, and then taking yourself down when you're ready. An invitation to close your eyes and settle. An invitation to just slow down a little bit more. Steady inhales and steady exhales. Soften around the edge a little bit more. Breathe a little deeper. And when you're ready to come out, it'll just be with an inhale breath and slowly roll yourself all the way back up to the top. Take yourself on out of there with your feet nice and flat. Maybe a windshield wiper of the legs. Yeah, it feels good. That's the one. Gentle windshield wiper of the legs, side to side. And then from there, let's take ourselves onto our back into a nice reclining pigeon pose. So you're going to bring the right ankle on top of your left thigh, and you can keep your left foot flat to the surface. So this helps us get into the back sides of our hips. An option also to slide your hands, right hand right through this hole, grab back the thigh, left hand around, interlace. Keep the back of the head flat for reclining pigeon right here. So a nice one here. You can make it more active by flexing the toes, right? A little bit more engaging if that's for you, but we've been pretty passive in this practice today, so maybe passive is better. But once again, it's nice to have options at the buffet. A little bit of lightness goes a long way. Maybe you've heard me say it before. Slowing it down. Feel the whole backside body just resting to the surface in this moment. Slowly settling in. Flowing breaths in and out through the nose. This is a nice opportunity to close your eyes, to settle them. Let's take it the other way, just slowly letting your feet go down, maybe giving them a little shake, maybe a little hug in over the knees. That feels good. And then taking the left ankle on top of the right thigh and shifting ourselves here into your reclining pigeon on side number 2. Noticing where you feel it on this side, it might be totally different than the other one, and that is okay. It is all good. Just breathe to where you feel it. Just allow yourself to settle a little bit deeper into this moment as we're winding our practice down. From there, nice and easy. In the next couple breaths, just allowing for yourself to move out of this shape when you're ready. Hugging it all in one more time. And moving into a little twist. Extending through your left leg, nice and straight. Hug your right knee to your right shoulder. Use your left hand to pull your right knee down to the surface over the body as you move it into a little twist. Noticing the back of the right shoulder relax to the surface. The body resting, settling. Slowly in and out through the nose. through center when you're ready, and then twisting it over to the other side. Extending through your right leg and using your left hand to draw it down to the surface. Left arm out to the left. Breathe to the back of the shoulder, breathe to the back of the head. The whole backside body's resting down here. And we're just soaking up this wonderful mini deep stretch. So we've taken this time for health and well-being. Feeling really good. Through center will come. Hugging your knees to your chest one final time today. Bring your forehead to your knees and just breathe in the first most beautiful positive affirmation that comes to you. Breathe it all in. Soak it all up. And gently release that as you take your legs nice and straight into your final relaxation pose for today. Final Savasana. As you're settling in, allow for the palms to face up, the feet to flop out, the whole backside body to relax down. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Giving yourself full permission to surrender to the stillness and silence within you and absorb the amazing benefits from this mini deep stretch. Calming the body and the mind. Slowing it all down. And I'll leave you here in Savasana for as long as you may need. Take your time. Definitely take a few minutes at the minimum. Allow everything to relax back and down. Just remembering that life is made of small moments like these. Until next time, my friends. Namaste.